what we like to think of ourselves and what we really are rarely have much in common.
Finally, my favorite Stephen King book has his own movie right now. Is it good? Let's talk about it. So, The Dark Tower is directed by Nicholas Arson, and star in this movie Idris Elba, Matthew McConaughey, and Tony something like that in this. So, the story in this movie is where you got Jake Chambers is is dreaming about what he has happened while he sees vision in the Dark Tower and something like that. Most of the happenings that the Man in Black named by Walter, who really needs to take out the Dark Tower because he really needs to destroy everything and take by children and everything, and he kidnaps them and try to destroy the Dark Tower so maybe he would take over the world. But suddenly he came into the portal and the vision, and he met that gunslinger who was starred by Idris Elba, um, which is the which is the gunslinger. It is Roland. So Jake Chambers and Roland, which is the gunslinger, he needs to take to the journey and find out where to find the Man in Black, aka also known as Walter. So so when I first saw this movie, I thought this movie was kind of very good as the book version. But when I saw this movie, I feel like it's a bit disappointed right now because I think that Dark Tower is kind of a little bit like Fantastic because the CGI in the background there is kind of like Fantastic because we can see that this movie is kind of like a superhero because it's interesting interesting to see that Idris Elba is holding a gun, like Gunslingers versus the Black Men in Black. It's kind of like a superhero movie, but it is used to be in the comic book movie, which is owned by Marvel. The Dark Tower is used to be in the Marvel comic book, but no, it's not the original comic book. But the original is a novel by Stephen King, so that's why Marvel make it. So this is not a Marvel movie. This is actually a Sony movie based on a Stephen King movie, isn't it? So when I see this movie, I thought it's very good as the book version, but I love the book. It's one of my favorite Stephen King movies of all time. But there's a lot of problems I can't really understand about this movie. This movie was kind of like 1 hour and 35 minutes. I thought it's gonna be 2 hours and something like that because I felt tired, because most of the scenes are kind of actually good, but sometimes they're disappointed. Sometimes they're very lame and cool action scenes, and some of the humors in it, it's still have humors in it, but it's gotten well improved. But I haven't really seen this movie so far because the director is not directed by Van Forstig, but it's kind of like Van Forstig because you can see that the CGI in this movie is not that bad as the Van Forstig because the CGI in this movie is kind of like a bit improved as the Fan Fantastic version one one of the CGIs there is so cool that you can see the Dark Tower is kind of like almost a bit realistic, and then the monsters came in and something like that because he needs to get revenge on killing Walter, which is also known as the Man in Black. But let me tell about the story in this movie. It's a bit confusing because we can see that Jake and the gunslinger has gone to New York. He's going to the different world to find the Man in Black. So after that, the Man in Black has taken over the world, and he tried to stop things, and that's the story about. I can't spoil the movie, but it's a bit disappointing that we can see that there is no more improvement in this Dark Tower movie. But I think it's a good movie, to be honest, because we can actually see that the story is a bit improvement and very impressive story. I mean the story the story is a bit not finished, and the editing in this movie was kind of decent and okay. And probably in this movie is kind of great and very specific, and some things that we can actually see it in my visions to see a Stephen King novel book. That is one of my favorite Stephen King books of all time, which is The Dark Tower. But like I said, I think this movie is very not that good. But it's a good movie, I think. I think it's okay or good movie. It's kind of good as like decent movies like other than that. But still, it's better than Fantastic. It's better than 50 Shades of Darker. I thought 50 Shades of Darker is one of the worst movies of all time. There's upcoming rant on it, so you'll be guys soon. So there's a bit improvising and very good acting in this movie. What I thought of Idris Elba, he's very good at it. He's very good at gunslinging because I like his action using the guns, all of them. And Matthew McConaughey, I think he's a good acting as a villain. He's done well. He's very great. I mean, I prefer watching other movies than that. So yeah. So what are my thoughts on this movie? I think it's a good movie, but not the best movie of 2017. But I will put this on my most underrated movies of 2017. But I think this is one of the most underrated movies of all time this year so far. I didn't like it. I think it's good. I like it, but not that great. It's not that great of War for the Planet of the Apes, of course, Logan, Spider-Man Homecoming. I thought these movies are such a masterpiece. They are so great. And at least it's better than the Emoji Movie, because since you guys are disappointed after seeing the Emoji Movie, then you get to see The Dark Tower, even though it's low ratings, which is on 19%. But who cares about the movie reviews? I really don't care about the reviews. But what I see, I don't think this is not as good as the book version. I prefer the book version over this movie because the movie itself has improvement story, has improved actors, and very cool action scenes, and and it tells how to prove that he's a gunslinger and something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna give The Dark Tower a C plus. So that's all my review on The Dark Tower. What are your thoughts on Dark Tower? Is it bad or is it good? For me, I think it's a good movie, but I'm gonna put this as my underrated movies of 2017. It's not good, but it's good. It's good. It's good, but not great. So my Stephen King movies are coming soon. You think my Stephen King movies are done yet? No, because there is one more Stephen King movie that's coming next month. It. So that's all, guys. Thanks for watching my review on the Dark Tower. What are your thoughts on Dark Tower? And I don't know. I will watch the Emoji Movie. I hope the Dark Tower reaches more than the Emoji Movie. So that's all, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.